In this video, I talk with Hannah and Andrew from the Sly Fox family, and we talk about how to really take your business or your brand online and use YouTube to grow it, how to learn from failure and turn it into success, and how to decide what to post online when it comes to your family as vloggers. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers. Help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And I'm super pumped to be here at ClamourCon with Andrew and Hannah from the Sly Fox family vlog channel. How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Dude, super pumped to be here, doing well. And this event has been really cool, right?
Yes, cool. Really cool, man. So great to connect with everybody else, you know?
Absolutely. And we've been here in Palm Springs talking really about how to grow our channels. And that's what we want to talk about in this video, specifically for vloggers watching. But talk a little bit about your story, how you guys got into video in the first place and started vlogging.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we originally got into vlogging because of our clothing company. So we have an online clothing company called Slyfox Threads, selling clothing from basically newborns all the way up to grandma and grandpa. So the whole entire family, and that inspired us to initially try to expand our reach of that company and also be able to allow our online shoppers to get to know who we are, because we wanted a more personal experience for our customers, so it wasn't just a cold online shopping experience with no faces, nobody there. That's why we originally started vlogging.
Yeah.
And then once we began to be part of the YouTube community, we realized that there was much more to this than just expanding our reach on a clothing level.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we had some friends that were actually involved in the vlogging community, so they're actually pretty big in the family vlogging atmosphere. They kind of like encouraged us to go ahead and try it, especially because we are a family behind a clothing brand that was already established. So they're like, it'd be really interesting for you guys to start doing more, and we were like, yeah. So we started.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Now, I mean, right from the top, like, would you recommend for anybody watching that has maybe a brand or a business or something that's off of YouTube to consider vlogging and doing something like you guys are doing behind the scenes to grow the influence of their brand or business?
Yeah, I absolutely do. 100%. I'm a firm believer in it because I believe that to be able to connect on a more human level versus a cold web page where they're just seeing products, and even if it's just a model, most of the time it's cut from here down, you know. And to me, I don't feel like that's as human of an experience. So I think that if you can communicate on a level that people can relate, they can see who you are, see your face, see your facial expression, see your communication with your family. To me, I think that that is a great way as an entrepreneur or even a small startup or a big startup or anything like that to be able to connect on a human level versus just a shopping experience. Because shopping experiences are a dime a dozen. They've been around for hundreds of years. But YouTube hasn't. And the shopping experience where you can get to know who's behind it and what they stand for, their beliefs versus reading a mission statement, you can actually see people live their lifestyle living that mission statement.
I love that.
Plus it's really tangible. So what I'm thinking is we are doing a vlog. I've got a mom life shirt on. He's got a dad life shirt on. They are relating to us on an aspect of this is the family wearing the clothes, and then they're like, that's cool, we're gonna support the family, plus we love it. So I feel like just aside on a business level as well, you're basically cross-promoting two things as well. So we've got Sly Fox Threads, Sly Fox Family, they cross-promote, they interlock, we wear them, we love them, and then they do the same. So they interact with our family, and then they go and they purchase, and they love our stuff. So it's I think it's really neat to be able to kind of put the family behind the brand as well.
I love it. Now, you guys have experienced some massive growth, over 700,000 subscribers in like less than 2 years.
Yep.
And so what were some of the things that you've noticed along the way, tips for vloggers watching that led to growth, and how have those changed maybe since back when you started to what it is now? Yeah,
you know, what's funny is now that we're a year and several months in, we're just now realizing who we are. And I think a lot of that was because of how we got into YouTube was like whoa, this is crazy, and it took off so quickly that we just kept trying to keep up the whole time. And now that we're a year, a little over a year in, we're really taking a step back now and going, who are we? What is our voice? Is what we've done the last year everything that we want to continue to do? And that's kind of where I can't, you know, the mindset of fast growth isn't always the healthiest growth. using things like tactics, gimmicks, things that are difficult to keep up with, clickbait, because clickbait can potentially trick people into watching, and then you hope that they like you enough to subscribe. But you want them to like who you are as a representation versus like what you did as a content or a thumbnail in that video, because otherwise there's no longevity.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the biggest thing for me, I think, even moving forward for us, is to sit down and assess what you've done in the past, what's worked, why did it work, and is that who we want to continue to be moving forward?
And I do feel like that comes with growth, and as your channel goes and as you establish what you're wanting, I feel like for us the growth happens so quickly that it's kind of like initially people were coming to us to see one specific thing, but you have to kind of train your audience as to what you're going to present in your channel, and sometimes that takes time. So right now I feel like we're in a current season which is different than we were a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And you kind of, the way we grew, the fastness that we grew, I feel like is different than some other people, but at the same time people didn't come on this journey with us where our kids were born. So you have to kind of get them invested with your family quickly. You know what I mean? They didn't watch our kids from infancy take their first steps. So it's a matter of getting the viewers involved in who you are currently and what you're doing and hoping it works. And sometimes it just works and sometimes it doesn't. We can't,
Yeah, I think too a lot of it has to do, for me, I think too, is the consistency in the brand. Being consistent, and I feel like your brand has to be who you are, what comes natural. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. I love that. Now, one of the things that I'm sure vloggers watching that are family vloggers maybe struggle with is, okay, what do we put online? What don't we put online? How do we also protect our family and have time for our family and balance this idea of putting our life online, but also being a family as well? What are your tips and what have you learned in that arena?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that. What have we learned?
Yeah.
And that's something that we have learned and we're continuing to learn, especially, the thing for me is I don't know that I don't have like a definite answer, because what I've learned now is I can't have a definite answer because the kids in the family change and grow, and they grow up and it changes. So when we first started, our son was only 3, getting ready to turn 4, and he loves a camera. And when he was born, we had our clothing company. He was the face of the company. He's a little model.
Yeah.
And he loves a camera. He's totally comfortable with it. Our daughter, on the other hand, is a little bit different. She wants to be a 10-year-old girl. She wants to be with her friends. She doesn't want the camera on her as much because that's just who she is, and we respect that. And we love that about her. One thing is that we've learned is to be as sensitive to the signs from your children as possible. We've not done the best job at that. And stepping back, in all honesty, to look at that and go, whoa, how did that slip by in the chaos of growth and keeping up? You see, it was a distraction.
Well, I think you evolved too. I feel like we've evolved. I feel like things change. I feel like a week ago my daughter might have been okay with one thing. There's not a specific regimen. I think you figure out what works for your family, what kind of scheduling works for our family. We do this full time, so we're together all the time. So we might spend our time together during the day, and then at nighttime he might be editing. The quality of your life just depends on what works for your family. So with vlogging and balancing and figuring out what content to show, you really do work on what is best for your family. And for us, some things might not be good for our family, but it might be for other people. So
yeah, and I think just to kind of close that out, with this topic is, I think that if it's things that might potentially down the road embarrass your child, or if it were done to you personally, would it embarrass you? You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things where we may have on a thumbnail not really considered what the children might feel enough because they didn't react. You see what I'm saying? Oh, they're looking at, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Or my daughter didn't say anything. Or 2 weeks later, she comes back and goes, I'm really embarrassed that we put up a thing about a boy who had a crush on me. And then we step back and go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And we learn from that moment forward.
About learning.
Yeah, from that moment forward, we said, we will ask you every single time if you're okay with any of the content that you're involved in.
I love that.
And the thumbnails.
Because she's just as
and we show her,
as our
and
family.
she does.
A member.
Yeah, she approves. She'll say, "I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with that."
Yep.
And because first and foremost is the family. You know what I mean? So then we're like, okay, we're never gonna make our family fit the vlog.
Yeah.
That's one thing too. We're like, we're not going to do that anymore. We're gonna we're just gonna put our life out of who we are, and we're not gonna try to force our family to fit a vlog.
Love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Super great answers and great wisdom. But are you guys ready for the lightning round?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Exactly.
Does lightning make a noise?
Yeah. What does lightning look like and sound like? Ooh. Oh, kicks
that
in there.
Dude, that was like thunder and lightning.
Thunder and lightning.
In one strike.
In one strike. Here we go. Lightning round.
Oh, that
lightning
was a storm.
round.
The storm's coming.
Uh-oh, lightning.
3, 2, 1. Favorite TV show?
This Is Us.
Ooh, excellent one. Parks and Rec.
First celebrity crush?
J-Lo.
JTT.
Yes.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Favorite social network besides YouTube?
Instagram.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What is one book that every influencer watching should read to help grow their influence?
To grow their influence. Interesting. That's a good question.
Do you want like a really honest answer from me?
Sure.
Because I'm not really a book reader.
For me, it's not really a lot of books, but I do a little bit more online search.
Online reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
So searching specific
Articles.
topics for specific
Right.
things in that moment that we're trying to learn.
Love it, love it. What is one of your favorite movies or documentaries?
Oh my gosh, man. Well, Monkey Kingdom's pretty good.
Monkey Kingdom.
No, that's
Oh my
a documentary. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I love Oblivion. That's a good one.
And my favorite is probably Pitch Perfect.
That's
Pitch
pretty funny. It's pretty
Perfect.
funny.
Now, what is each of your hidden talents?
Oh man, I can do backflips.
Can you do it out here?
I can't. Only on trampolines now. I used to be able to do it on the
okay.
ground. I
Used to
mean,
do it
I
on the
might be
airbag.
able to, but I don't want to get hurt.
You didn't say music or like drums or something.
Oh yeah, I guess people don't know that, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hidden.
I can kind of play drums.
I play guitar.
Nice. What is one of your no-miss morning rituals?
Starbucks.
Oh man, Starbucks. That's so true. Well, typically I get up and I open all the blinds in the entire house.
Nice.
Every day,
Light.
actually.
Right. We're like people.
If you could give a TED Talk, what would it be about?
TED Talk. It would be probably about learning to cope in a healthy way, because that's been one of the most impacting things to me over the last year.
Mine would probably be about sticking in when it's hard because there's so much change that happens day to day.
Love it. How has failure in life set you up for later success? And do you have a favorite failure?
Oh my God.
That you've learned from?
Man, great questions, man. Here's the thing. My favorite is also one of my most painful, right? And there's been a lot of them because we're entrepreneurs. From the day we met, we've never really worked an employment job where we've worked for somebody else as an employment. We've done contractor situations, all that kind of stuff. We partnered up in business right away. We started marketing companies and they failed. Started another one and they failed. I started another one, they failed. I think there was 3 total.
Wow.
And until eventually we realized, wait a minute here, why are we building everybody else's business when we could be marketing our own product, which is Slyfox Threads? And thank God, that worked. But before that, I did partner with a couple other guys one time in a business in Utah, online marketing company. And I mean, the promise was like, yeah, this company, the product, it's so great. I was so pumped, right? And then it just tanked, right?
Wow.
It didn't work. I left the company. We left on good terms, which is cool. But that literally put me it took 3 months, probably 3 months, man. I was just like, I was gut wrenching. What am I going to do now? I moved my whole family out to Utah for this. What am I going to do now?
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that one hurt really bad, but I walked away with such a different wisdom in business that when we started our own company just months later, every single thing that I had learned through that hurt and that knockdown literally was able to be applied to this new business, and it worked. So it turned out to be a God thing, man. It turned out to be the kind of thing that, I was really like, wow.
Yeah.
Because initially I told you, it was no positivity. I was stuck in this almost like a discouragement state, just like, oh my gosh, blah, 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 I can't believe this happened, blah, 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 beat myself up. And then it turned into wow, I really learned a lot through that,
Love that.
So yeah, that was intense.
Powerful.
And I think that mine would probably be our failed adoption. We actually had adopted a little girl, and for a long time after that adoption fell through, I wasn't sure we were gonna have any more kids. I wasn't sure what I thought. I was actually pretty hurt, and I feel like God completely turned that around, gave us our little boy, which we now have, and he's 5 years old. And I feel like for me, coming out of that, I was really nervous again about having another child, and I feel like God turned that around for us and just made it a positive thing. And that His plans are bigger than ours. So.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to your 18-year-old selves? If I knew now then what I know now.
Oh my God.
What's a piece of advice?
Bro, don't get any tattoos yet.
Is that really it?
Yes.
Mine would be stay off MySpace because that's where I met him. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, we actually met on MySpace and we're married a month later. For me, it would probably be 18-year-old self. Hang in there that I feel like I was by myself a lot in my values and purity, which is a lost topic, I think, nowadays. So for me, just to hang in there, and God had a reward, and don't feel discouraged.
Awesome. And what is a quote that you live your life by, or maybe a quote that you guys think about often?
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
again.
Don't worry. Be happy.
So you just live by songs,
Yeah, basically,
right?
just songs.
Not a bad idea.
No, yeah, I guess me too. Okay, we constantly quote them. So
Yeah, we're constantly quoting
What's
songs
yours?
and movies.
let's see, what's mine? Mine is just keep swimming.
Oh yeah, that's totally you. Yes, it is.
Songs
Simple,
to
but
live by.
effective.
And then lastly, what is your favorite place in the whole wide world and why?
Oh gosh.
St. Lucia,
Oh yeah, I mean.
because that's where we actually celebrate our anniversary. I told you we eloped. And we didn't have an anniversary, or honeymoon. So we finally did a honeymoon 2 years ago to St. Lucia. And we're 12 years married, so that was.
Boom, pound it. Awesome. Lightning round.
Oh boom.
So lastly, where can everybody find your guys' stuff, from the clothing line to the channel, social, all that stuff?
Cool. Let's bounce it. Ready?
Okay, ready to go.
Andrew Sly Fox on Instagram and Twitter.
Hannah Slyfox, Instagram, Twitter.
YouTube.com/SlyFoxFamily.
And then Slyfox threads for all of our clothing.
Awesome. So definitely check out all their stuff. We'll link it up to the description below. Just want to really, affirm you guys. It's really inspiring what you've done, and how
thank you.
even hearing your stories on failure, how you've overcome
thank
failures and stayed in faith, and how
Yeah.
you're putting out just so much good into the world. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Could you just
absolutely.
share a little bit of encouragement for influencers watching? It can get discouraging. There's ups and downs. It's kind of an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it
just a
is.
few words of encouragement to keep crushing it and posting their content online.
Yeah, I would say just keep going. We came from a place of living in my parents' basement, and from basically being on food stamps and having nothing, to just keep pushing. If you love something and if you want something bad enough, keep working at it. And I know that people are like, just be you, and sometimes that's great, and just put the work into it as well. Make sure you're studying and make sure you know what you're working in, and if you love it, it's all going to come pretty naturally because it's something that you want to be a part of.
Yeah, and I think too, just ask yourself what your definition of success is. Don't allow others around you don't fall in that comparison trap, going, well, this person's doing this and they're so successful, and everybody in the world around you is always going to tell you, this person's so successful, or just being me isn't enough, it's not working. And that's, I think, where you got to really step back and go, you know what, on a healthy level, I'm not going to compare myself to what everyone else is doing, because God might have a different plan for you or for me. You know what I mean? Whereas maybe one channel grows really, really fast, and some other channels might take a little bit longer,
Comparison
or all
trap.
those things. Yeah, I would say remind yourself what your definition of success is. Is it fame and fortune? Because maybe that's what the world around you is telling, but maybe that's not the best place for you. And that's the same thing for us. Is it's just finding out what our definition of success is.
And I feel like maybe it's easy, because you guys might be like, it's easy for you guys to say you grew 700,000 in a year. But at the same time, we are constantly having to work at it. We have our down
Always.
days. We have views
Yeah.
that are down. We have a video that does great, and then we have a video that does awful, and it all comes part of it. And we do battle with discouragement
Oh,
and do
absolutely.
battle with the reality of
That's
being
a hard one
human
with
in
YouTube.
it. So, but just keep going and pressing on, because it's so finicky. It changes so often, and just keep putting the hard work in. And if you
Just
love
keep swimming.
Just keep
keep swimming.
swimming.
In the words of Dora. You just keep going.
Dora.
Right, Dora? Dory.
There we go. Okay.
Lightning for that.
Well, guys, thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thanks for having us, dude.
Influencers, thanks so much for checking out this video, and keep building your influence, income, and impact with online video, and we will talk soon. Boom!